You know, most of us kind of think aging is just something that happens to us. Like it's all written in our DNA, and there's not much we can do about it.
But what if I told you the science shows something completely different? That the biggest factor in how you age isn't your genes at all. It's what you did today. Let's get into it. So this quote comes from a geriatrician, a doctor who specializes in aging, and they're not kidding. In medicine, your mobility, your balance, how you walk, how confident you are on your feet, it's one of the clearest windows into how your entire body is doing. It's like a real-time report card on your biological age. And that brings us to our first big idea, the analyst. We're going to look at aging not as this unavoidable decline, but as the direct results of a few simple, everyday habits that we all do. That's really the core truth of this whole explainer. The difference between someone who's sharp and vibrant at 85 and someone who's frail, well, it's not luck, it's a pattern. It's all about those small, seemingly meaningless choices you're making every single day. This slide, this gets right to the heart of a huge misconception. We get so focused on that 1-hour workout, right? We feel like we've checked the health box for the day. But the data is crystal clear. That 1 hour does not cancel out a whole day of being sedentary. It's kind of like eating a super healthy salad for lunch, but then drinking just a tiny bit of poison for dinner. The damage is still being done. Here are the cold, hard numbers to prove it. A study of older women found their risk of death shot up by 30% if they sat for over 11.5 hours a day. And listen to this, that was true even if they exercised regularly. The real enemy isn't a lack of exercise, it's sitting hour after hour without a break. So unbroken sitting is just one of these 5 habits we've got to talk about. You can think of them as these silent assassins of your health. The others are polypharmacy, which is just a fancy medical term for taking too many different medications at once, often with side effects that clash, plus sleep deprivation, not drinking enough water, and of course, living with constant stress. Each one quietly accelerates the aging process in the background. So how does this actually work inside your body on a cellular level? Well, it comes down to these tiny things called telomeres. Just imagine the little plastic tips on your shoelaces that keep them from fraying. That's what telomeres do for your chromosomes. And every single time your cells divide, these telomeres get a little shorter. Things like stress, sitting for too long, and especially not sleeping enough, they physically speed up that shortening process.
They're literally making yourselves older faster. And speaking of sleep, it's not just about feeling rested. This is huge. During deep sleep, your brain runs this incredible cleaning cycle, washing out these toxic things called amyloid proteins, which have a very strong link to Alzheimer's disease. When you don't get enough deep sleep, you're essentially letting that toxic junk build up in your brain night after night after night. Okay, so that was the bad news, the problems. But now we're going to shift gears to the specialist, where we talk about the fix. And the great news is, the solutions are surprisingly simple. See, you don't need some insane diet or a punishing workout plan. The science actually shows that small, consistent interruptions to those bad habits are way more powerful. We're just talking about a few simple daily resets, and this chart just brilliantly shows you the return on investment. Look at this. Just replacing 10 minutes of sitting a day with some light activity like walking around your office or your house slashes mortality risk by 30%. An hour of light activity spread out through the day, a mind-blowing 78% reduction. It's just amazing that something as simple as standing up more often can have such a huge impact. Okay, let's talk nutrition for a second. As we get older, our bodies develop this thing called anabolic resistance. All that means is our muscles get worse at actually using the protein we eat. So you actually need about 20 to 30% more protein than a younger person just to keep the muscle you already have. So the key takeaway here isn't just how much protein you eat, it's how you eat it. See, your body can't really store protein for later, so if you do what most people do and jam it all into one big dinner, a lot of it just goes to waste. But if you simply spread that same exact amount of protein across 3 meals, you can boost your body's ability to build muscle by up to 30%. Same food, totally different results. That brings us to our final section, the planner. Let's put all of this together into a simple, actionable blueprint that you can literally start using tonight. This is it. I call it the 10-minute nighttime reset. And honestly, this might be the single most powerful 10-minute habit you can build for your long-term health.
About an hour before you go to bed, you do these 3 simple things. First, drink a full glass of water even if you don't feel thirsty. Second, look at your pill case and just mentally check off your medications for the next day. And third, and this one's huge, put your phone in another room, not on silent, not face down, physically in another room. Now, what's so brilliant about this little routine is how efficient it is. Just look at this. That 1 glass of water, it directly fights chronic dehydration. Reviewing your meds, that brings a daily awareness that helps counter polypharmacy. And putting your phone away, that one move hits 2 of those silent assassins at once. It stops the late-night scrolling that causes sleep deprivation, and it cuts off that source of chronic stress. 4 birds, 1 stone. It's incredible. And if you need any more proof that this whole habit-based approach is the real deal, you just have to look at the research on a group of people called Superagers. In a way, everything we've talked about is just reverse engineering what these people are already doing. There was a major study at Scripps Research where scientists sequenced the entire genomes of people who reached their 80s and 90s in fantastic physical and mental shape. They were hunting for that one magical longevity gene. And you know what they found? Nothing. Not one. This discovery just completely flips the script on aging. What all these healthy, long-lived people shared wasn't their DNA, it was their daily patterns. So this entire explainer really just boils down to these 3 simple principles. This is the blueprint. This is what the world's healthiest elderly people have in common. Number 1, move consistently, always breaking up long periods of sitting. Number 2, eat simply, making sure you get protein with every meal. And number 3, sleep well and make a habit of unplugging from sources of stress. It's a really powerful idea when you think about it. Aging isn't something that's waiting for you down the road. It's the direct result of what you're doing or not doing right now. The body you wake up in tomorrow morning is literally being built tonight. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?